Shanks is 100% objectively, by every definition of the word, a swordsman. Only in the One Piece community will you find people who look at a character that uses a sword for everything he does and still find a way to convince themselves that he's somehow not a swordsman. He clashed with Whitebeard with his sword. He stopped Akainu with his sword. He attacked Kid with his sword. He even attacked Harald with his sword in the flashback. Shanks has never not used a sword. Some of y'all want to call him a hockey man, but that definition goes to Garp. You know, somebody who purely uses hockey, not a weapon and hockey, just hockey. Galaxy Impact. Galaxy Divide. In fact, Kobe is training to be a hockey man with his hands. Honesty Impact. Then there's people that'll say, oh, but if Shanks is a swordsman, then does that mean Roger and Whitebeard and Big Mom are swordsmen too? And for starters, yes, Roger is a swordsman. What are we talking about? This guy has only ever used a sword. Divine Departure against Odin. Speaking of whom, Odin is most definitely a swordsman too. He also used it against Whitebeard, and yes, they're not touching, but channeling haki is still a sword skill. We also know that with Mihawk telling Zoro to just work on his haki. He also used it against Emu, and later on to fight Domi Reversi Rocks, while the actual hockey man uses his hands. Now as for Whitebeard, he can in fact be classified as a guy who simply uses a sword because we've seen him not use a sword. And same with Big Mom, she has a whole other arsenal and just happens to have a sword sometimes. And if y'all really want to drag it with the whole cutting versus blasting thing, which shouldn't even matter, not only have we literally seen Shanks cutting someone, but this claim should have been entirely debunked when we met Rocks, whose sword attacks were famous for blasting everything in sight like a gigantic hammer or cannonball. This is a technique, and Rocks is very much a swordsman. Even when we look at Mihawk's bounty announcement, he's stated to have even greater sword skill than the red-haired emperor. Shanks' skill with a sword is clearly highly revered, which makes sense considering he was literally working his way up through the ranks of the Holy Knights as a swordsman. At the end of the day, I think agendas are just as funny as the next guy, but I'm starting to think some of y'all genuinely believe the stuff you're saying, and it's crazy.